Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at Texto Calado,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a story. It's about a guy named Pedro,
Okay.
and his experiences blur the lines between, just everyday normal life and the unexplainable.
Hmm.
So it's a story that makes you wonder, like, have you ever felt like someone or something was, like, watching over you?
It is a fascinating question, isn't it? I mean, this sense of unseen protection, I think it's something that you see throughout human experience, folklore and belief systems across cultures.
Yeah, totally. Like Texo Colada just throws you right into that feeling with Pedro's story. So imagine this. It's a bustling city street. Rain is coming down,
Oh, yeah.
slicking the pavement. And Pedro is just lost in thought as he's crossing the road. And he's so distracted, he almost walks right into the path of a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oncoming car. Like a classic close call scenario.
Totally.
But this is kind of unique because out of nowhere, this figure appears
Mm-hmm.
and pulls Pedro back just in time.
Yeah, like out of a movie. And then just as quickly, as this rescuer appears, they disappear into the crowd. And Pedro's just standing there, unharmed but completely bewildered.
It's interesting. It's like these events always hinge on these insignificant details, and the only thing that Pedro remembers about his rescuer is a bright red umbrella.
Yeah, what a weird image.
Yeah.
Adds to the whole mystery of it.
It does.
So at first, Pedro just kind of dismisses it. He's like, oh, stroke of luck, just some helpful stranger.
Right.
Right place, right time. But as he keeps telling the story, even his friends who are usually pretty open-minded, they're like, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of have trouble believing him.
Oh, wow. So that's interesting. That doubt from his friends, it sends him down this kind of interesting path,
Yeah.
and it makes him question the experience himself.
He's looking for an explanation.
Right.
So it leads him to this church. He'd always seen it, but never actually gone in.
Oh.
So a week after the accident, he just feels this pull, like something's compelling him to go inside.
Yeah, that sense of like being drawn to a certain place or a situation. It's powerful.
But it is.
It's almost like something beyond our control.
Totally. So he walks into this, grand old church, sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows.
Nice.
Yeah. And as he's looking around, he sees this painting of a guardian angel.
Okay. That image, right? Loaded with symbolism.
Yeah,
Protection, divine guidance.
for sure. And get this. The angel in the painting is depicted watching over travelers
Okay.
and holding this very specific object. You guessed it, a bright red umbrella.
Wow.
Talk about a strange coincidence.
That is strange. The detail of the red umbrella, it creates this link between the painting and Pedro's experience.
Absolutely.
This random detail suddenly has all this significance.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing that sends chills down your spine.
I know.
It really is. This
Yeah.
is like a turning point for Pedro. He talked to the priest, and
Yeah.
the priest explains that this guardian angel in the painting is known to appear in times of danger, often carrying unusual objects.
Oh, wow. So the priest's explanation, it's like it validates Pedro's experience.
Totally.
It connects his experience to this broader narrative,
Yeah.
this long-standing belief in guardian angels
Yeah.
and their intervention in human affairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Really is.
Yeah, it really is fascinating how, like, one event can change your whole life. This encounter, it wasn't just a lucky escape for Pedro. It made him really change as a person.
Yeah, you're right. Like it shifted his whole perspective. But what's interesting is the story doesn't just say that, oh, his perspective changed. It actually gives you examples.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of things?
Well, like we learn that Pedro, he starts to appreciate the little things more, like the warmth of the sun, the sound of his friends laughing, just waking up every day.
Okay, he's more aware that life is fragile.
Totally. And it also seems like his relationships got deeper. Like he really started listening to people
Oh, wow.
and helping out whenever he could.
It's like he wanted to pay it forward.
Exactly.
That kindness he experienced.
Yeah.
That's something you see a lot when people have these experiences.
Yeah.
Where they feel grateful to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them want to share that gratitude.
And that's exactly what Pedro does. He starts telling his story to people, not to preach or anything, but just to inspire them, to be open to the possibility that there's something bigger than themselves.
Right.
Which brings us back to the question we asked at the beginning of this deep dive. What do you think of Pedro's story?
Yeah. Was it really a guardian angel? Or was it just a bunch of coincidences? And he just needed an explanation. So he made up this whole story.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about belief and perception, and even like the nature of reality.
Yeah. I mean, the skeptic in me wants to say it was all just luck.
Mhm.
But there's this other part of me that kind of likes the idea that maybe there are forces out there that we don't fully understand.
I know what you mean. I think that's what's so cool about these stories. They make you question things
Yeah.
and think about what's possible.
I mean, think about confirmation bias. Could it be that Pedro was so shaken up by the accident that he, like, subconsciously was looking for proof that a guardian angel saved him?
It's possible.
The church, the painting, the priest's explanation, it all seems a little too perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to consider that other people believe in these things too. Like the priest knew about the angel legend before he ever met Pedro.
That's a good point. So how do we make sense of all this? On the one hand, we have the power of suggestion, and how our minds interpret things. But then we also have these cultural stories and beliefs that people have shared for centuries.
Maybe the answer isn't about picking one or the other. Maybe it's about being okay with not knowing for sure.
Yeah.
It's in that space where logic and intuition meet.
Yeah.
That things get really interesting.
You know what reminds me of that part in Texto Colado, where the author asks readers to think about their own experiences, those times when something happened and you couldn't explain it, like someone or something was watching over you. It's like the author is inviting us to explore what we believe is possible.
To open ourselves up to wonder.
Exactly. And that makes me wonder, have you ever had an experience that made you question whether it was just coincidence, like a time when you felt guided or protected, or just inexplicably lucky?
Yeah, it really does make you think
Yeah.
about those times in your life when something happened
Yeah.
that you just can't explain.
Right. Like it makes you wonder, what if all those little acts of kindness we see every day, like someone holding a door open or helping you out when you need it, what if those are like subtle signs of a guardian angel? Maybe guardian angels don't always have wings.
Right.
Maybe they're just ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
You know, it's interesting. That idea, it's not new. Like a lot of philosophies and spiritual traditions talk about this idea of interconnectedness.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're all part of something bigger. And even our smallest actions can affect other people.
Yeah. So maybe it's not about finding one definitive answer. Maybe it's just about recognizing that we're all connected and we all have the power to do good in the world. Maybe we all have the potential to be someone's guardian angel.
It's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
If you really think about it that way, the world is full of possibilities.
Totally.
Like that random encounter that brightens your day. Or that unexpected act of kindness that makes you believe in humanity again. Those could be like maze, little reminders that we're not alone, that even when things are tough, there's still good in the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
It makes you want to pay more attention to everything, be more present in the moment.
Right. Be more aware
Yeah.
of how we affect each other.
And like Texto Colado says, be more open to those weird coincidences when you just know it's not random. Like maybe those are the moments when we get a glimpse of something bigger than ourselves.
It's a beautiful idea.
It really is. Well, this has been such an amazing deep dive. I mean, we've talked about faith and perception and what's real and not real and the power of human connection.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, this story leaves us with more questions than answers.
I think that's right.
It makes us want to keep exploring these mysteries ourselves.
And that's a good thing. It's good to stay curious, to be open to the unknown,
Yeah.
and never forget that there's wonder everywhere.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Texto Colado, and we'll catch you next time. As we continue to explore all those fascinating ideas and experiences that challenge us to think differently about what's possible,